Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. So today I have what I hope is going to be an incredibly satisfying and certainly very huge unboxing video to share with you guys. So these three boxes, which are barely fitting on the screen at the moment, are the results of the February-March group order which I've arranged via the Silver Forum from our friendly neighbourhood Belgian bullion dealer goldsilver.be. As you can probably tell from the title of this video and maybe the thumbnail as well, this is a big one. There's over 1,000 ounces of silver in here. There's a couple of ounces of platinum as well as an ounce of gold as well, so it's going to make for a pretty epic unboxing video. It's going to be so big that I'm not going to be able to get to the entire contents of this these boxes today, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, because over the weekend we'll be having a close look at what 1,000 ounces of silver actually looks like. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and obviously get a notification when those videos go live over the weekend. But for those of you who don't know anything about these unboxing videos that I do every couple of months or so, I'll arrange these ridiculously large group orders via the Silver Forum. So if you haven't checked out my channel sponsor, the Silver Forum, go over there. I really do like to keep the arrangement of these orders on the Silver Forum, just because it's so much easier for me to communicate everything out to everybody about the order. And I'll put a link down in the description below to the thread where all of the information about this last order is. But for those of you who don't know, here in the UK we have to spend 20% VAT on silver when we buy it. So obviously it's not very cost effective relative to spot. So what we do in the UK, if you're in the know anyway, is we buy from Europe, and buying from Europe allows us to get the silver a lot cheaper, but obviously you then have to pay for shipping. So if you just wanted a couple of coins, it's really not going to be worthwhile. So we do these big group orders, and I've been arranging them for, gosh, the last 6 months or so. Look, there's the ounce of gold straight away, one of the dragon bars. But yeah, I arrange these orders every couple of months, and I've been doing it for the last 6 months or so. The first one we did ended up being about 150 ounces, so this one being 1,000 ounces of silver is absolutely ridiculous. So massive thank you to everybody on the Silver Forum who's joined into the orders. Look at that kilo coin as well. This is a properly good little box to get started with. Yeah, so massive thank you to everybody on the Silver Forum who has joined in. It really does make a difference. The more that people order, the cheaper it generally gets in terms of shipping. Normally we would have free shipping, and that's something I just want to quickly talk about. So normally with goldsilver.be we would have had free shipping on this, but we haven't had that this time, just because I think of the complexity of the order, and you'll see that once everything's out on the table a little more clearly. You know, there's a hell of a lot of silver in here, and there's a lot of different individual orders, so for them to be able to arrange it, get it all done and packaged so that it's all correct takes a long time. You know, if you're just ordering a monster box of silver, you know, you just wrap that up, send it off, it's done. But when you have to put something like 200 different individual items in, it's not going to be an easy thing. There you go. That's my first look at the tubes, the rectangular tubes for the Perth Mint dragon bars, which is very interesting. So that's quite cool to see. But yeah, so it's been an incredibly successful order this time round, more so than I was even expecting. And I made a video, like, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, saying that the order was currently at like £8,000. The total value of this order ended up being well over 20,000 euros. I think it was like 21,000 euros, which is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, very happy with this. So it's going to be quite a long old task for Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I to sort through everything, make sure it's all here, and then obviously get it all wrapped up and shipped off to everybody else as well. Right, so that's box 1 down. Let's get into box number 2. Now, I always get asked when I do these group orders, you know, why do you guys have to pay VAT on silver in the UK? It's not something that's very common around the world. I mean, there are taxes in Europe, but certainly in Europe, and that's why we can kind of take advantage of lower taxes by doing these group orders, because in Europe you don't tend to pay more than, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6%. I think Germany 7%. Some countries like Estonia it can be 0, depending on what you're buying and how you're buying it. But it's primarily, you know, tax is tax, as Benjamin Franklin said. Life, two things certain in life: death and taxes. So, you know, it is going to happen. The governments are going to tax you. But the reason that they tax silver specifically is because it is an industrial metal predominantly, and that's one thing to think about. So the UK government taxes it because of that. It's an interesting thing. Whether or not it's something that I agree with, I don't really know. Personally, you know, tax is tax at the end of the day. You either pay it or you get in trouble. You know, so if you're going to buy in the UK, you need to factor that in. But, you know, being part of the European Union is a really important thing for being able to take advantage of those wondrous things that happen in the European Union. One of those things is that we can buy silver from Europe without having to basically pay UK VAT, because we're in the EU. We basically pay the rate of VAT that is dictated in the country that we buy it from, and in this case it will be certainly a lot lower. And I think that the loophole that is used is that these are essentially second-hand coins. Now these are basically just standard bullion coins essentially. So when you're buying from a lot of these dealers in Europe, certainly the big cheap ones like goldsilver.be, you need to remember that it really is just about buying the cheapest bullion that is out there. So, you know, a lot of these will not be perfect specimens of coins, and that's something certainly that you need to factor in. If you're buying specifically to, you know, send off coins for grading, you'd probably be much better off buying from that's those just all capsules. You'll be better off buying from someone that really does do individual coins that are better, you know, better quality, I would say. But that said, you know, it is certainly a very good way to stack weight of silver, and as you can see, Silver Forum members have been going pretty crazy on that. And I've seen quite a lot of people talking about the reasons why they are stacking silver at the moment, and it's very evident that when you look at the kind of historic gold-silver ratio at the moment, it is incredibly in favour of silver. You know, with something like 81, I think it was the time I last looked, 81 ounces of silver to gold. And historically it's been a lot lower than that. It's always been around the 50 mark, 60 mark in recent times. But of course, if you go back even further in history, you know, you go back to the 1920s and so on, you know, it was much more around the sort of 1/12 mark. And I think even earlier than that, it was down at the 1 in 6 or 1 in 9 mark, which is kind of the actual ratio of which, you know, basically gold and silver exist on the earth. So look at that big fat kilo elephant. That is very cool indeed. So yeah, it's an interesting premise to sort of think about, you know, that silver really is incredibly cheap at the moment, and that's probably the reason why a lot of people are buying it. But also you've got something to factor in, and it kind of goes back to the point that I was talking about, which is why we order from Europe in the first place, which is around VAT and tax. Is that obviously with Brexit happening, so if you don't know what Brexit means, it means UK leaving the European Union, and with that happening, we in the UK just don't know what is going to happen with silver from Europe, or buying anything from Europe that you have to normally pay tax on, but you perhaps don't if it's from the EU. You know, there's many different other things, like, well, for example, precious metal wise, we're looking at predominantly silver, but also platinum as well. But you know, there's many different things that will be affected by the UK leaving the European Union, and the last thing that would be really good, well, the last thing that's good for us would be, you know, we have to then pay import duty on a box like this when we get it through from a, you know, a bullion dealer in Europe, basically. So if we bought this right now, like we have, we don't pay import tax when it comes in. It's already paid, you know, we've already paid the tax on it essentially, so it's all good. But in the future, when we've left the European Union, at the moment, we don't know what's going to happen. And if the UK just kind of falls out of the EU and falls back on world trade kind of standards, then there's a very good chance that we will end up having to pay VAT, or import duty to the equivalent of, when we get silver delivered to us. It'll get stuck in customs, and customs people will have a good old route around and work out how much we have to pay them. So there's going to be a lot of questions being asked over the next, actually that big triple roll of Britannias here. There's going to be a lot of questions asked in the next couple of months, certainly in the run-up to 2019, when you know, the fall-off date happens. And there's been talk about having a kind of transition period, and that would be kind of good, I suppose, in a way, because it would give us more opportunity to buy silver at the decent prices. But at the same time, a transition period doesn't really help us, because we still don't know what the long-term outcome would be. So because of all of these issues about people not really knowing what is going to be happening, the box is done, with sort of silver and buying silver from Europe, and then whether or not we have to pay taxes. Gosh, do you know, each of these boxes weighs about 12 kilos, so it's pretty heavy. But yeah, so not everybody is going to know what's happening. So, you know, a lot of people are going to be buying more silver, and the fact that the silver-gold ratio is so good at the moment in favour of silver, and the fact that, you know, you might not be able to buy silver in the future. I think a lot of people, certainly I've seen it on the forum, lots of people talking about it. They are talking about basically buying up silver now so that they can, you know, take advantage of the rules as they currently stand. Oh, big monster box in here, so I wonder what... I don't think it's an actually full monster box. I don't think we ordered that many. These must be the Queen's Beast Bulls though, because I haven't seen them come out yet, so they must be in here. Yeah, so, you know, a lot of people are pretty much buying silver now because they don't know what the state of play will be in the future and whether or not they would be able to even buy it in the future because of the tax reasons. So, very interesting time at the moment, and certainly for me, look at all of these. So these presumably will be, yeah, these are the bulls. I think there's something like 130 or 140 bulls in here, so it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot. What's in there? Oh, these are like 10th ounce platinums, I think. There's a lot to think about, and certainly for me as a hand-poured silver craftsman, you know, buying silver shot. Certainly, if I bought silver shot from the UK, you know, my business would not be able to keep on going in its current state. You know, you make small margins as it is, and it's a hard job. And to then have to either increase prices by a further 20% because you have to pay VAT on your purchases. Now, I could register for VAT as a business, and then I wouldn't have to, you know, essentially pay that, but I'd have to pass that on to customers within the UK. It would basically mean, you know, UK customers would end up having to pay 20% more, or you average it out, and worldwide customers have to pay 10% more. So there's going to be some difficult choices to be made over the course of the next sort of couple of years for backyard bullion, hand-poured silver, and I'm hoping that, you know, things will be okay and things will survive, and perhaps that the UK will have a favourable relationship in terms of trade with Europe. That's the plan. I would hope so, but certainly for right now we don't know. And it might well mean that in the run-up to 2019 or 2021, whenever any transition period might end up finishing, that we have to go over to Europe and basically bring back a car load of silver. That would be a very interesting journey through Europe with a carload of silver. But there we go. There is hopefully 1,000 ounces of silver. We saw the 1 ounce of gold. It's being buried by all of this silver now. And I think the platinum coins are in here somewhere as well. So we'll have a good old look through. We'll see if everything's there. Now the next step for Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I is to basically arrange this all, cross-check it against the orders that we've placed and the orders that everybody else has placed as well. And that's going to take us the better part of probably the rest of the day, to be honest, because it's always a pretty, you know, as you've seen from Gold Silver .B, it doesn't come in any rhyme or reason or any order. It literally just comes in big jiffy bags like that, and everything is just poured out on the table. So it really is going to take us all afternoon. But as I said at the start of the video, I'm going to be putting some closer look videos at this, well, no other word to describe it than stack of silver over the course of this coming Easter weekend. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoyed watching 1,000 ounces of silver, just look at this, ridiculous. If you enjoyed seeing 1,000 ounces of silver hit the table like that, then make sure that you hit the like button. Share the video around on social media as well, that would be very helpful. Spread the word about the Silver Forum, head over to the Silver Forum and check it out as well, that would be very helpful as well. Otherwise, that's all I have for today's video. Wish us luck. It's going to be a long old, fun old time checking and sorting everything out here, but hopefully everything will be all a-okay. Otherwise, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and I'll see you all on the weekend. Make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.